In this video, we're going to take a look at the brand new lineup from Cobra for 2026 in the driver category. We've got Optum is the name. We've got 4 heads. We're going to run through them all. So Cobra have got 4 different heads we're going to take a little look at. So the first one is the X. This is the core version. Most golfers will probably fit into this particular head. We've then got the LS, which stands for low spin. Obviously for the golfers trying to get their spin number down, a little bit more of a compact head. Then we have the Max K head. So this is your 10K ultimate forgiveness is what that particular head is all about. And then finally we've got the Max D, which is your draw version. I'm not going to hit the Max D in this particular video, but I'm going to hit the X, the LS, and also the K. So before we start hitting some shots, let's just touch a little bit on the technology that Cobra are offering in the lineup of these Optum drivers for 2026. It's all about stability on off-center hits. Yes, we have heard this before, but Cobra are saying this is going to reduce your side spin. So it's all about weight placement. They've used a supercomputer to precisely position the weight inside the head to create that stability and reduction of side spin for straighter, longer shots, but also more fairways hit, which is, I think, will be a big box tick for a lot of golfers. I'm personally a little bit excited with that as well. So we're obviously going to look at that in this particular video with the results. So we're going to kick things off with the X head. So this, as I mentioned, is probably going to be the biggest seller out of all the sort of models. Pretty much of a neutral sort of head positioning. 460cc head. We've got that Future Fit 33 neck settings. We'll come to that shortly. We've got 2 adjustable weights on the bottom. We can see we've got an 11 gram weight and also then a 3 gram weight. Now they can be flipped backwards, so you know, one to the back, one to the front, etc. So placing the heavier weight in the front gives us accuracy, and they've actually named that next to that screw port at the front of the sole. And then the one in the back is going to provide forgiveness. We've got the Optum name logo in there, which I'm not sure about the name of that personally, but it is what it is. And into that playing position, it's definitely a Cobra driver in that playing position. We see sort of glimpses of what we've seen in the past with Cobra. We've got that sort of borderline matte finish at the front into that gloss black section of the crown with a little bit of that carbon just showing through. We've got the Cobra logo in, identifying the center of the golf club. And then we've got like a grey face, and those 2 vertical lines that just separate the toe and the heel, and obviously just really highlights the centre of the club face, very much frames the ball behind the golf ball in that address position. This X, I've got a 9 degree, it's set at 9, and that does sit incredibly square. So really like the way that sort of sits. Nice shaping of the head, nothing too huge down there for this particular model in the X. That's a good solid hit, just a little bit pushed. But really good, powerful flight to the look of that. With that ball flight there, spin looked quite nice. Yeah, 2,100 on the spin, that's nice. Good launch, 272 carry, 294. That's a nice start with the X. So as we mentioned, we've got this supercomputer really positioning this weight accurately inside the head, which minimises that product of inertia, POI, which basically is the measure of the club's resistance to twisting across multiple axes at once. And this is what Cobra's saying is reducing the side spin for straighter shots and more fairways hit. We've got the hot face, which we have seen in previous models. So again, just keeping that ball speed up across the face on the miss hits. And of course, we've got the Future Fit 33 neck setting. Now, just talking about the next setting, this was introduced into last year's driver, and I imagine this is going to stay in for a long time. I'm a really big fan of this. I must admit, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, that is really confusing. And it may still look confusing for a golfer looking from the outside and looking at that and think 33 settings, oh my God, that's a nightmare. I don't want anything to there's too many options. But it's really a great tool for me personally as well as a fitter. I can really get the club face and loft and lie dialed in to suit a certain golfer's window they're trying to hit with the drive, or a certain shot they're trying to reduce to or eliminate in their game. I have done a separate video on how exactly the neck sleeve works, so I will link that up there and you can go and check that out for more in-depth look at just purely on that neck sleeve. Okay, that's a little bit off the bottom. It's a nice sound to that. It's that carbon sort of sound, but nothing too muted. Quite lively off the club face. A good solid hit there. Really like the flight on that. Looks quite a nice, powerful flight, to be honest. Yeah, so good ball speed there, 160. Good launch, spin, 2.2. 269 carry, running out 296. Very nice indeed. that's nailed. That's a beautiful flight. Good solid feel with that. As I say, I do like the sound off the club face. Yeah, and there we go. I think some very solid numbers there with the X. Right, let's move on. We'll go jump into the LS, the low spin version now. Right, so moving into the LS, obviously stands for low spin. So straight away here, we'll see a little bit more of a compact head. Now, it's still a 460cc head, so it's not gone smaller, but it's just now squashed in a little bit more. So from that face to the back of the drive on that crown, it's just a little bit shorter in length, which gives it obviously a little bit more of that compact look. Now, when we flip the head over now, we're a little bit more blacked out on the bottom of the club head now with the LS, and we've got 3 movable weights, all different weights. We've got 11 gram, a 7 gram, and a 3 gram. So we can see we've got 3 options to move that heavy 11 gram weight. So if we have that in the heel, obviously it's going to create a little bit more of that accuracy, and what Cobra's saying is a little bit more of that draw bias. Obviously 11 gram goes into the toe for more of that fade bias, or the 11 gram goes in the back to create more of a neutral weight in the head and a little bit more forgiveness. So again, lots of options in that LS head, as well as, again, the Future Fit 33 neck setting. Into the playing position, again, the look is very, very similar in terms of the colours, the gloss finish with a little bit of carbon, the face, everything like that's the same as we saw on the X, with just a little bit more compact in that head. So if you like a bit more compact head, this I think will tick your box. It's incredibly square. Again, it's a 9 degree, and I've got this set at A1, which is standard. It's a fraction off the toe, but what a great flight that is. Definitely looks to be a little bit more low spin, probably will be more so with that slightly toe strike, which we can see there at 1800. But again, decent launch, carry around that 265 with a good sort of run out. So technology-wise is exactly the same as what we're seeing, that weight placement, helping to reduce side spin for straighter and more fairways hit. Okay, there's another little tester, because that's off the bottom of the golf club there. So that's launched low, might just spin up a little bit, which it has done, but only up to 2,300, which isn't bad for a low strike. And that, you can see, hasn't lost a lot of distance there. A little bit of carry, but made it up with a little bit of run. So the LS head is really trying to promote a little bit more of a lower launch and a lower spin. And obviously we've got that neck setting as well, which can move that loft up and down by up to 2 degrees, as well as some light angle settings. Now, availability wise in the LS is a 9 degree and a 10.5. Now, obviously that 9 could go down to 7, it can go up to 11. And the same with the 10.5, that can come down to 8.5 and go up to 12.5. So it's a ton of options and adjustability, as well as those 3 weighted screws. That's solid. Very similar feel to what we see in the X, to be honest. It's a nice sound, it's a nice feel off that club face. And there we go with the LS. So again, some very nice sort of numbers. And Cobra's saying this is a little bit more of an aerodynamic head in comparison to the other models we're going to take a look at. So maybe squeezing a little bit of club head speed. You can see that one's just jumping up to 111. Right, so now moving on to the Max K. So this is obviously the most forgiving out of the heads that we have on offer, the 10K forgiveness. We look at the sole now, and it's a little bit more stretched out from the face to the back, as we're going to expect from this type of golf club. We've got one screw which isn't movable, it's fixed, and obviously that's positioned right at the back to pull that weight as far back as it possibly can, which ultimately is going to give us that 10K number, which is that moment of inertia measurement, resistance to twist. Now, I've only got a 10.5 head in this Max K, so I'm going to take advantage of the Future Fit 33 neck setting from Cobra, and I've moved this down by exactly 1.4 degrees is what the chart's telling me. So this is moving this down to 9.1 degree of loft, if it's going to be that accurate. So which is an F4 setting. I haven't changed the lie angle or anything like that. I've just literally moved the loft down. Now, as I put that in the playing position, we're going to see now clearly a larger footprint on the head, bit more stretched back. So confident inspiring is definitely something I would sort of say there when we look at that. Again, the look is the same in terms of that gloss crown with that matte front section. Does look good behind the ball. Definitely more confident span than the 2 models. Oh, that's nailed. Little bit up the left side, but that felt really good off the club face. Again, some really nice numbers there. Definitely felt a little bit more lively off the club face. Just noticed that club head speed a little bit down. Didn't feel that slow compared to the others, but let's have another go. A little bit higher, just a little bit left to right on that shape. Yeah, so interesting there. Club head speed is a little bit slower with that. I'm not sure why that is. So again, this is a 460cc head, but obviously just stretched out a little bit more. And Cobra are promoting this as a little bit more of a higher launch and a mid to low sort of spin characteristics, with obviously maximum forgiveness with that 11 gram fixed weight at the back of the driver. Oh, that's nailed. That's a great flight. That is arrow straight. Probably just sounds a little bit louder, I would maybe say, than the other two drivers just. In the past, we've seen with co-drivers, the price point has just been a little bit less than we've seen with the other major brands in the driver category. And that applies the same for 2026. Yes, it's increased a little bit, but haven't all driver prices across the board. So the driver in the Optum is going to come in at £479 as I'm shooting this video. So under that £500 mark, where many of the other ones are just edging over that 500, with some going towards the 600 mark, sometimes just makes this Cobra a little bit more appealing. Solid. Yeah, I think that's a very strong range from Cobra. Again, moving into 2026. So the Max K driver is available in a 9 degree, a 10.5, and also a 12 degree. And again, you've got all that adjustability in that Future Fit 33 neck setting. Quickly look at the numbers there of the three models and just compressing this to get the averages. So we can see a little bit of fluctuation in club head speed actually, with the LS moving a little bit quicker, and Cobra do say that is the most aerodynamic out of the three models there, and the Max interestingly being a little bit of the slower one in terms of the club head speed. Exactly the same shaft and length in all of those three drivers I've tested. So that has a little reflect on obviously ball speed. Launch numbers are pretty much in the same area, with the LS just launching a little bit lower as predicted, and of course giving me a lower spin. But as I mentioned, it's very similar spin to the X, and obviously the K was a little bit more spin, again as you expect with that heavy weight being positioned in the back of the driver. Okay, so there we go. There's a Cobra lineup, Optum drivers for 2026. Post comments down below, let me know your thoughts with that lineup. Hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.